I owe thanks to the researcher Grant Cameron for pointing out a phrase in a document from back in 1950 from the Canadian government. It's a famous document in the research by Wilbert B. Smith, who was a official with the Canadian government back then, and he was writing about this and stated, in my contacts with the U.S. science official who knows all about this, that the government fully understands there is a mental phenomena associated with these saucers, as he put it, mental phenomena. So this is something that the U.S. Intelligence, military have known about, no question about it. And, you know, you think about U.S. government interest in something like remote viewing starting in the early 1970s. And before that, MK Ultra, which we don't know this for a fact, but I believe probably had several psychic components to it. What is the capability, not just of them, but of us? That's one of the most amazing things that comes out of this. We begin to realize we have capabilities that we have dismissed, we have not been aware of, we have not tried to develop ourselves, generally speaking. And that this phenomenon absolutely is waking many of us up to the fact that we are more than we thought we were. And so that's exciting. There's a lot of other things about this phenomenon that are uncertain to me, but the fact that it opens up a capability that we have is actually a genuinely exciting thing.
I'm also under the impression that secret government agencies are opening up to the realities of telepathy and consciousness as part of the...
It happens in the form of a revolution. And I have come to feel strongly that the UFO phenomenon is one of these things that will bring us into, that opens the door into a totally new paradigm. It's a revolution. We're not fully grasping all of the implications of that, but it's there. It's essentially showing us the way to this new paradigm. And I do think at some point we're going to make a breakthrough in understanding it properly.
Before we close our interview, I think it's useful to bring up many cases where there seems to be an overlap between the evidence for an afterlife and contact with aliens. It goes really back to the 19th century when alien beings would show up in spiritualist seances, and you also have reports from people like Whitley Strieber, who suggests that when he's having an encounter with the visitors, as he calls them, alien beings who seem to be able to enter his home at will, that they are sometimes accompanied by individuals who he later learns are deceased.
It is a fascinating overlap, and I will just tell you and your audience that I believe in an afterlife. I had an experience with my own father when he passed away, where at the moment of his passing 4 years ago, my wife and I were sitting in our living room 150 miles away and watching our recessed, dimmed ceiling lights flash bright and dim, what it turned out at the very moment he died. I will never, ever believe that's a coincidence. There's something very unusual about this reality that we have not grasped, and it includes some kind of existence of our consciousness, our soul, there's a good word, beyond the death of these physical bodies. That's something that I personally do believe in. And it's a really great question to ask, what is that relationship to the UFO phenomenon? And I don't have all of those answers. I'm aware that Whitley and his late wife, Anne, were deeply engaged in these questions. And other people are as well. And I haven't made as much progress, but I think it's very important to understand and to grasp these issues. There's something important there.
I totally agree. There is something important there, but it also makes me sympathetic to John Alexander's viewpoint that government officials are incapable of addressing a mystery of that level of complexity. something important there, but it also makes me sympathetic to John Alexander's viewpoint that government officials are incapable of addressing a mystery of that level of complexity.
This is a heck of a mystery that goes beyond our normal ability to understand what is reality. It represents something beyond. It is a new paradigm. And I will agree that, government officials, even military intelligence officials, really have to struggle to understand just what is going on. But it has always been my contention, and this is when I debated this formally with John back in 2011, that they may not understand it all, but they have a lot more information than the rest of us poor slobs out here in a lot of those specifics. They know many, many things that we do not know. And that's just, I think, the reality of it. The analogy of looking at early humans compared with us is apt. If we were to go back in time, even 1,000 years, a mere 1,000 years, find the smartest people around back then and try to explain our world to them, good luck. That would be a very difficult, tall order. And so that's explaining it to our own species, a mere 1,000 years different from us. What about the knowledge that a highly intelligent alien species has, God knows how much more advanced they are than us, to explain to us the nature of reality? That could be a very difficult thing indeed.
Well, Richard, it's been a great pleasure to talk to you. We've covered a lot of ground. You're so well informed about all of the many details of this complex arena. I'm so glad to be able to share your point of view with our viewers, and I hope you'll be willing to come back in the future.